Well, we started off on that foot. I thought it was supposed to be the cool video.
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. John tells me what he wants to happen.
Oh, here we go.
I don't have to listen to him. I do whatever I feel like.
Welcome to the Morning Rush at 7 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. We're happy to have you join us for our inaugural show. Maybe kick it off.
Before we go any further, this is Sideline Sports. I'm JB Ellis. I got two clowns to my right. You guys can't see them. You're lucky. And I got just Dave DeRocher on the bottom, Jake Malik up top, John Shearer. This is Sideline Sports.
Dave is the NFLPA president in Orange County and a former NFL player for Seattle.
Well, John, why don't you introduce yourself so people know you're John? You know, they might think I'm you and you're me, and I want to make this very clear. I'm Jake Malik, the one that's speaking right now, and John Shearer was the one with the high-pitched voice. He's really annoying.
I'm sure they'll get used to me. I'm sure they'll find out who I am.
I'm sorry for those who have to hear him.
Go Falcons.
You heard some of us Sunday morning as we got ready for kickoff, but this is the regular show that you want to listen every week because it's pretty funny. We're gonna get John all going tonight, talking about some Miami Dolphin football. We're gonna get Jake going because Jake went to MetLife to watch.
Do we have to talk about that, please? I really don't want to.
Dave is going to rip you, and I'm going to say that pick six was the greatest play of the game. I loved it. It sealed the victory for me.
Hey, JB.
Fan, I loved it.
JB, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you a quick story about this. And any of you gamblers out there, and if Raphael's joining us, he's going to appreciate this as well. So, as you guys know, we do a watch party for the Seahawks wherever they're at. So Monday night we're watching the game. And there was a guy when DK caught that first touchdown that cheered like it was 30 seconds left to go in the game. And he wasn't wearing any Seahawk gear. And I said, "Are you a fantasy guy?" And he goes, "No," because I could tell he wasn't a Seahawks fan. But it was, I mean, he was the loudest, of all the Seahawks fans, he was the loudest cheer. And he said, "No," he goes, "I did a parlay and I had Metcalf catching the first touchdown." Well, that's big. That's on a parlay. That's there's a lot of options there, and then the second half of the parlay was the Seahawks winning, and I'm like, bro, I mean, you're looking good, and so, and we know he's looking good. Well, this guy then takes a halftime bet, and because I'm talking to Raphael, I think we were actually all on the phone talking about the show.
Yeah.
So the guy's going, he's all hyped up, and Raphael goes, "Hey man, tell him to take the halftime. They'll probably still pay him out pretty good." And the guy goes, "Nah," he goes, "I'm an idiot. I play parlays. I'm not very smart." He goes, "I'm going to play it out." He goes, "As a matter of fact, we just put $50 down on the first score of the second half being a defensive touchdown." He made $400 on top of the $2,500 he gave to the parlay, and so he bought.
Dave, I have a very important question.
Yeah.
You're getting into gambling recently a little bit. You talk about parlays with Raphael, which for those that don't know, don't really watch our show, Raphael is our man. He is a gambling guru. He does it all, and I'm going to let him explain himself later in the show. But when we have betting questions, you go to the guys that make the odds, and that's Raphael. You just go right to the source.
He's literally one of the best in the world.
He's awesome. He is, and he's not just an odds maker. He's not just an odds maker. He's a great friend of the show. Anyway, so Dave, my question to you though is, since you've been getting into betting a little bit, you've been so excited the last couple weeks about parlays, right? Dave, was the guy that was betting on the Seahawks game named Dave? Was this you? Is this whole story all about you, and you just don't want to admit that it's about you? Is that the truth of this?
This isn't an AA story where, hey, I got a friend.
I just, because everything about it really was like, if Dave told me this was him, I'd believe it. I would be like, yeah, this adds up.
Hey, if I won $3,000 on a parlay, I couldn't wait. Let's bring Raphael on right now. But no, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm the happiest Giants fan this morning. I bet the Seahawks last night. Daniel Jones was the MVP for the Seahawks. The only thing is they gave him a Giants jersey to start the game. I didn't understand that. I thought he was playing for the Seahawks. I didn't realize that the defensive backs were wide receivers.
Apparently.
He's horrible.
I'll tell you what, I can talk about that game. Well, in our next show, Hawk Talk, we are going to be talking about that game quite a bit, of course. But, man, it was nice to see the defense show up and the running game show up and the Seahawks show up. And we're in good shape and people made money. Jake made money. I mean, JP made money. So
I didn't make no money, Dave. I was very upset watching that game all night.
It was a bad game to go to.
Listen, there's another great game we get to talk about.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. But look, Jay, first of all, the reason I went is because a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to go?" Who says no to a free game? I mean, you just say yes.
I'm not saying you don't go. It was just
from the stadium, but oh my God,
it was just a bad game to go to.
Dave, you should have come to this game. It might as well have been a Seattle home game. I mean, the fans at like the third and fourth quarter were deafening. I mean, all I heard was, just Hawk chants. That's all it was. It was pathetic.
That's what I heard.
The fans were out in droves. It was terrible. And then you guys just took over the stadium. Dave, I left the stadium and was walking in the tunnel going back to the car, and all we heard was Hawk chants. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was horrible.
That's awesome.
It was
painful. Now you know what it's like to be a Chargers fan. Two-thirds of the stadium were Raiders fans, man. That poor team. I feel bad for a home team that is outnumbered with their fans. That's bad. I dealt with that when I was at San Diego State, and BYU would come or UCLA would come, and we'd have our 18,000, they'd have 40, and it just playing in that big stadium, and that was not fun.
Yeah. And the last thing before we move on.
Hang on, you want to be a happy Giant fan the next 2 weeks? Bet against the Giants the next 2 weeks. Small bets. Little parlays, like, someone to score a touchdown like A-Chain and the Dolphins to win. And if the Giants happen to win, if the Giants win, you're a happy guy. And you don't bet a lot. And if you win the parlay, you're happy. You can't lose.
They have no
matter what happened last night, I was happy. But go ahead.
Let me say this. This is just a story from the game, and it is so funny how fast fans will turn. So it was, I think, the third quarter the other night, and whatever it was, I think Taylor Swift has a movie coming out or about her concerts or some garbage. I couldn't.
I haven't heard. Please tell me more.
Her and Travis Kelce are dating. Whatever. Listen, that's not my problem. I don't really care. Anyway, that's their business. But they put up on the Jumbotron a video of Taylor Swift, and it's, I think it's her concert movie thing that she's coming out with. I thought the Giants must have turned the ball over and I missed it. Like the offense went out there and I just wasn't paying attention. It was a commercial break, so it couldn't have happened, but the boos were so loud. The whole stadium was
why is this confusing you, though? Do you think
I wasn't confused. It was just hilarious.
NFL fans are Taylor Swift fans. They don't really go together.
It was
not really.
It was just. It was so funny how angry everybody was. It's not like she showed up on the Jumbotron and she was at the game. It was just a video for something that she's got going on in her life. And it was the loudest chant of anything, probably, maybe besides, the Seahawks chants at the end of the game. It was crazy. It was just, I guess Taylor Swift has really pissed everybody off by now. And it's only been
she found her way on our show. So,
look, I'm just saying it was,
I'm going to make a vow to get through an hour show without speaking about Taylor Swift on the Seahawks.
Nice.
That would be it's generally advisable. I mean, I guess she's a big story with Travis right now, but no.
Yeah. It doesn't matter to us. I mean, does anyone really care?
I couldn't care less. I not at all. So I had to tell the story though, because the reaction of the fans, it was just, like I said, such an angry crowd in that moment. And I think it was a mixture of the game itself from the other night and and mixed with that being in the headlines.
Are you talking about the reaction to the Giant game or the reaction to the Jet game?
Oh, the Giant game. The Giants fans were pissed. They were like, "This team is hot garbage." They literally cannot. Go ahead, John.
To be fair, I mean their team sucks, so they're going to be mad at everything.
You're being nice.
You're being nice, really, yeah.
John, first of all, it doesn't get any better. We have to play the Dolphins and then the Bills. So before we do anything,
thank you for the reminder.
We are 1-5,
and you play the Bills in prime time.
And hang on, we still got to play Dallas one more time, Philadelphia twice. So that's 8 losses. That means if we win every other game on our schedule, miraculously, we will be 9-8. But if we happen to lose one other game besides that, we're going to have a losing season already. You realize how bad that is? We're coming to week 5.
Just count on it and be done with it.
I put the season down as a loss. It's over. I'm done with it.
Usually,
I moved on to hockey. I'm done.
Usually, I get to Thanksgiving before I pick the new team I'm going to follow for the rest of the year. And I've been pretty good. I picked the Super Bowl loser like 3 years in a row. Last year, I stayed with the Giants. But, because they were so bad for so many years in a row, I had this annual tradition. We get to Thanksgiving. We're out of the playoffs already. I pick another team to follow. So I think I'm going to have to do it early this year. I don't know who it's going to be.
Just do us all a favor, and especially for those that are listening, do them a favor. Please do not pick the Falcons. If you pick the Falcons, we will have a mutiny on our hands. Not because they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to be great, but more so because they'll be upset that they're like, well, now you're going to be the Super Bowl loser. Thanks for jinxing us. Now we can't win.
Well, I think if we're in Atlanta right now,
yes,
the expectations to get to the Super Bowl, that would be phenomenal. I think if they became the Super Bowl loser, I'd become the mayor of Atlanta next week, I think, if that happened.
Look, I mean, if we're talking Atlanta Falcons football, I mean, Bijan Robinson looks really good. The defenses look pretty solid.
Listen, they're a decent team.
Your quarterback is the only thing holding you back, but I mean,
he's young, he needs more experience.
They have a promising future aside from the quarterback spot. Like everywhere else is pretty promising. So, I mean, the future is bright in Atlanta, and the division isn't great. So, I mean, I think
just remember, when Atlanta loses the Super Bowl this year, everyone in Atlanta can write me a thank you card and say, JB, you are the man for picking our Falcons.
Thank you for picking our Falcons, because at least we can say we got to a Super Bowl.
They got to the Super Bowl.
Well,
it's a nice problem to have.
I'm going to make some real enemies by saying this. Are they going to lose 28-3 again?
Oh,
sorry.
No, you
Sorry,
can't
I couldn't
that.
help it.
You
want me to say it again? Do you want me to say it again? I'll say it again, because I can say it, and I will say it.
I mean, if you want to alienate people, sure.
Listen, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be entertaining. And that's
mission accomplished.
And to top it up, they didn't lose 28-3. They were up 28-3.
And
it was
you know what I meant.
Oh.
You know what I meant.
It was a sad moment in Falcons history. Let's not bring up the ugliness.
Let's not beat a dead horse. All right. We can talk about more ugliness if you want to talk about John's team losing.
What's about
I'm in favor of switching from JB our Giants losing to talking about John's Dolphins losing, because I know he's going to make excuses, and I'm prepared to let him have the floor. I'm prepared to let him have the floor, but I just want to talk about the fact that they lost. So, John, I'll let you have the floor. What happened this weekend?
No, so I said this yesterday. They abandoned the run. They never really tried to run the ball. And the Dolphins are a team that when they're succeeding the most, when they're at their best, they're a balanced football team. The first 3 games, they learned from their issues last year, which was they thought they could just pass the ball and succeed that way, and they realized that they couldn't. And so for the first 3 games, they were running the ball, and they were a balanced football team. And they realized when we're running the ball, that makes teams step up in the box, linebackers come up, safeties come up. And when that happens, guys like Tyreek Hill get downfield, because you have to respect that run, because the run is so dangerous. So you pick your poison. But on Sunday, the Dolphins didn't run the ball at all. And so the Bills were able to pin their ears back and get to the Dolphins pass game, because they didn't have to worry about the run, because the Dolphins weren't trying to run the football. And so I think that, and the coaching, the game plan and the coaching just wasn't very good. Having a slot corner on Diggs is a terrible idea. You put your best corner on Diggs all game. And I have no idea why they did that, but putting a slot corner on Diggs is just asking for trouble, and it's a stupid idea. And that, to me, is why they did not win.
I think the Dolphins too had a slew of injuries too going into that game. Didn't they?
I mean, everybody has injuries right now.
Yeah, but
everybody's kind of banged up.
It was like 8 to 10 players, I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
but so the Ravens, and they ended up winning.
The guys on the field.
Yeah, they didn't play. Yeah, they didn't play the Bills.
They played the Browns, who have a phenomenal defense.
Yeah.
The Browns' defense is one of the best in the league.
Defense has been awesome.
They can't score though.
That's not the point.
That's true.
The offense doesn't play against the offense. The offense plays against the defense. So I think that's Jake's point. Oh, look, listen, Dave. When you make stupid comments,
they've only played in the NFL.
Hey, look, I don't know if you remember.
I was always curious about how that. I'm so I left the game. I'm still curious.
Dave, I'm happy to teach you anytime.
He's like Chuck Knox. The offense plays the offense, right? Yeah, the defense plays the defense.
That's 8th grade Swickley. He used to say that's one of his favorite sayings. Man, hey, come on now. That's 8th grade Swickley. Meaning everybody knows that, because if you're in 8th grade in Swickley, I mean
that's fine.
Yeah,
but listen, when you talk about the Browns' inability to score, I just got to remind you, it doesn't really matter because the Baltimore Ravens play against Lamar Jackson. They play against the Browns defense, which is JB's point. Anyway, John, I think maybe you just realized your team is very good. There's no questioning that. I don't know if you're the class of the division yet, though. It's going to be a tight race, like I told you.
I think I was the only one last week that said Buffalo was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, you expect the home team in a division game to win majority of the time because, I mean, I'm always of the mindset you split.
Not necessarily.
I'm always of the mindset division rivals. You hope for a 3-3 record against your division. Anything above that's, just bonus because, I mean, it's your division. Like, it's hard to sweep your division opponent no matter who it is. It's not an easy thing to do because you know each other inside and out.
Yeah, but I don't know that being home or away is
it makes a big difference when you're on the road.
Jake, just stop.
No, I'm not going to deny that. But
whole train of thought, just stop right now.
I didn't say a word. Relax. Slow down. Slow down. I didn't even finish my statement. I got like 2 words out.
It wasn't going in any direction that would have been correct.
It was going the same direction.
Dave, you tell me. Hold on. Dave, you tell me. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Please tell me. I'd love to know.
The home team doesn't have an advantage. You already said
Dave,
say that. I wasn't even done. I haven't made my thought yet.
Listen, all I'm going to say to you, Jake, Dave woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Dave's a big guy who was on a plane. I'd be very careful. He's not that. He's in Washington, which isn't that far from Jersey. I'd be very careful.
He is really big. I met him
it's whatever time it is here on the East Coast. I don't know how you guys live like this. And it's my first cup of coffee. So I am a little ornery.
Yeah, I can tell.
And more importantly, and all of this is I don't have the Emery's tacos.
Yes. I was gonna say you're missing the tacos.
This whole thing, is a whole slippery slope. And I'm sorry for you folks in Atlanta listening to this on radio. You have no idea that my fiance just makes me the most delicious tacos because it's Tuesday night when we do this show. And my agreement with these guys is, look, I'd love to come do this, but I eat tacos on Tuesday. And so they allowed me to do that on the show. And anyhow, so I digress. Yeah, I'm cranky. Finish your statement, Jake. Let's see if this does go somewhere.
Exactly.
Like the Giants offense. Let's see.
Wow.
Exactly. A home field advantage in divisional games means less. That's what I was going to say. I agree home field advantage is very important, but I think divisional games, it's very different because like John said, you know each other very well. So that home field is taken away in a sense that you play there every year. And guys like Josh Allen have played in Miami 3, 4, 5 times at a minimum, right? And I don't mean literally just Josh Allen, but I mean those guys that are, been on the team for a couple of years. They've played there a couple times. Does it neutralize it? No, of course not. That would be a ludicrous statement to make. But what it does do is say, I know it at least a little bit. I have an idea of what I'm walking into. It doesn't.
You do, but I don't
change
think
everything.
Ever get used. I don't think you ever get used to it.
Did I say
can't
that?
Speak personally, but I don't think you ever get used to. If you go to Seattle and you're the Niners, I don't think you ever get used to what the 12s do to you. I think you.
But I think it's easier. I think it's easier. I think it's easier for the 49ers to do it than say the Giants who go out there once every 4 or 5 years.
Thank you.
A guy who plays on the Giants may go out there once in his career to play. Meanwhile, whoever's on the 49ers for the last 5 years has played there 5 times. So you mentally know how to prepare for it. So I get Jake's point.
What would you expect? It's a minimal valid point, but it is valid.
Dave just doesn't want to admit that I made an actual decent point. And so instead, but you know what, Dave? I appreciate
show stopping. It wasn't like
Hey, look, I'm not trying to make show stopping points. Listen. That's it. It could have taken 30 seconds before, but we derailed ourselves as per usual.
We always do that.
Get used to this. It's early in the morning if you're in Atlanta. Get used to this. You're going to need coffee to listen because we go all over the place. John is going to go on a rant.
We're just here having a good time.
You're going to want to have tacos for lunch after we hear about Anne-Marie's tacos. I got to go out west to get some. They look amazing.
No, this is a valid point. Is there good tacos in Atlanta? Maybe somebody can, send us a note or something and let us know.
If there's good tacos in Atlanta, please let us know.
Yeah,
we need to know ASAP.
If there are good tacos, you want me to give out the email? Just have them email us.
Yes.
Why not?
Let us know a taco spot because
JB, I put it on the screen. The people listening can't see. Hold on. I need to point out what JB just said because it may have kind of gone under the radar. It was very easy to miss. JB said, and I'm quoting, "Put it on the screen." Guys, we are on YouTube and Facebook and all our lives. So everybody that wants to watch us can always see that. We know that. We admit that. But JB, this is a radio show. They're listening to us. What are they going to look at? Their car screen? They're not going to see it.
Look, it's 7 in the morning. He's tired.
This is going to the people that produce the show in Atlanta. Put it on the screen. When you say it, they should have it typed out. The radio screen, like serious. You don't have the stuff that goes across.
Oh my God!
Our station doesn't have that.
All right. The email is sidelinesportsnet@gmail.com. And if you want to DM us, anything like that, Twitter or X as it's supposed to be called now, whatever. I'm not getting into that. Facebook, Instagram, all that. Just Sideline Sports, look us up. DM us. If you got a taco spot in Atlanta, please tell us. We would love to know. And Dave, Dave, I'm telling you.
Tell me.
I'm convinced you will make a trip just to go to the taco place because you love tacos that much. And if someone says it's that good, you'll come out here.
Well,
you'll go, I'll do it.
Tacos and golf,
it's Atlanta. We can get golf.
Coming up right now, we're gonna be head out to New Jersey with the NFL alumni, the network and all the teams that have network shows. They're flying us out, and we're gonna have the NFC versus the AFC. And in a golf tournament.
Wait, hold on. When is this, and why didn't you tell me?
Do you not read your messages?
Because you're not invited.
Oh,
I see how it is. All right, fine.
No, it's the guys doing shows. So the Bengals and everyone that is doing a team show.
That's fine, but I still want to know when it is.
It's October 30th in Jersey. Some nice. Of course, Gus Gus is gonna be on here pretty soon. He can tell us all about it.
Yeah,
Dave. October 30th. Do you know what day of the week that is? Is that a Saturday?
It's a Monday.
Oh, come on!
I don't work.
I do.
Bummer.
No, seriously, Dave. Let me know when if you know where it is in Jersey. You can tell me where.
We'll let everybody know. We'll let everybody know. I mean, it's there's gonna be a lot of dudes there. Anthony Munoz. I talked to Anthony. And I don't know if Anthony's going to be able to make it, but Ken Anderson and all the guys that host the Bengals show, all the guys from the Giants show.
I'm sure Lawrence Taylor will be there.
Yeah, Dave, you're going to be in my hometown, man. You're going to be right in my backyard. I'm ready.
And then we're doing a celebrity golf pro-am in Florida, first part of November. I'll let people know about that because that's actually in proximity to Atlanta, I think.
I just want to point it out. That's the first time Jake's will have ever come out of his house besides for college.
If there's a chance of rain, Dave, he will not meet you. Just so you know.
You're pushing it. Dave, when in November are you going to be in Florida? Because I will also be in Florida in November.
He's stalking you at this point.
I got stuff.
I think it's like 11th or something. I'll find out. I don't know.
I might be. Do you know where in Florida you're going to be?
No. Hey guys, I didn't even know what time I flight left this morning. So I wake up.
You're asking him all these questions.
All right, Dave, go to the airport.
And we're here back. The Atlanta radio station. Thanks for having us.
No, if he's going to be there in November, I'm going to be there on the 11th. I'm sure of it. And I'm going to be in Orlando. Again, an opportunity to do so. I'm just, sure. I hear these things. I get very excited. I'm going up to Vegas next week. I'm hoping I'm going to catch Raphael. That would be, I would love it.
Sounds like backstage talk.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. You know what? I like our fans to know what's up.
John, what are we talking about next? What's the?
Well, we
why don't we bring in Raphael?
We talked about him.
We're talking about you. Were your ears ringing?
I wish my ears were ringing. You guys want to do next house speaker odds for me? I'm working on it right now.
Nope.
I think it should be John Shearer.
No, probably not. I think Tyler Green, that wacko lady, will probably get more than John Shearer.
Oh, great!
Wow.
Raph,
sorry, John.
I'm curious if you agree. John just doesn't have the voice for it. He's not strong enough.
I have a great voice. I'm just.
Wouldn't you get annoyed if that's what you heard every day?
I have a face for radio.
Yes, wow. John. Yes, you do. Absolutely.
So do you have an odds favorite since you brought it up? I mean,
I think it's Steve Scalise to lose. I think the only thing that might put him on a back burner. I mean, he's coming off with blood cancer, some kind of blood infection and stuff like that. That he was out.
Sad. Well, that just turned depressing.
Yeah. So that's why you guys are talking football and stuff like that. This is the kind of emails I got during dinner that I had to jump upstairs and start working.
Speaking of
house speaker odds. Wow.
Speaking of sad, can I throw it out there? I just want to us to send our best to Tim Wakefield's loved ones. That was a sad story the other day. Tim Wakefield was not only a great player but a great person. So I just want to make sure I throw that out there because that was just a really big loss. He was a great dude. So I just want to make sure I put that out there.
Brooks Robinson's family as well.
Brooks Robinson too, man. We're losing a lot of athletes, man.
Russ Francis.
Russ Francis. Yeah.
It doesn't end. Anyway, well, Raphael, I guess let's stick with the sad train because I got to ask if the odds have changed. I knew that going into the season, they probably weren't really high to win a lot of games. They were probably sitting around 6 or 7, if I had to guess. What are the odds on the Giants win total after this weekend at let's call it 3 games? Those odds changed?
It was 3.5 most of the day, but the amount of money, I mean, because let's face it, it's overreaction week. They're still, I mean, granted, they've only scored 3 points in 2 home games.
It's bad.
I think we'll probably have around 5.5 towards that. I mean, because they still have to play Washington. They still have to, their schedule favors, but everyone was probably going to pound the under. It would not be shocked tomorrow morning. It'd probably be 4.5 or 5.5.
Because people love to overreact on Mondays or Tuesdays after horrible games on Mondays.
So a report came out, Raphael, and we'll talk about a little bit more important news than the Giants who can't score a point.
Hey, listen. I just had to ask. It was a relevant question.
Before you say anything, John, are we going towards morning zoo type show? Because this show's been off the rails today. Go ahead, John.
That is exactly the goal.
So there's a report that the Panthers are trying hard to get a number 1 receiver for Bryce Young. They want to push for a number 1, like a Devontae Adams type guy. So do you have odds on who they're going to land, whether it be a Devontae Adams or somebody like that? Because apparently that's what they want to do. They want to go all in on getting him. Much like Tua and Jalen Hurts got their number 1s, they want to do the same for Bryce Young to help him out, help his progression along.
We probably won't do it this year. Probably when the season's over, see who's out there. I mean, they could probably get Claypool from Chicago for maybe a 6-pack of beer.
That'll fix everything.
I think those kind of stuff that you're going to see a lot of teams are going to be looking for number 1 receivers, number 1 linemen, stuff like that. And we won't put stuff like that because we don't know who's going to be on the market. We don't know if what team's going to want to tank. We already saw Caleb Williams, the teams he wants to go if he comes out. So it could be a big issue, stuff like that. I think right now people are just people want to know why is so many teams struggling to score. Saints, Pittsburgh, Giants. I mean, we've seen it. I've never seen an NFL season like this where it's not just one or two teams. It's and in their home games. It's not like they're on the road struggling to score. So I think that's probably the biggest. I think we're going to see a lot of offensive coordinators, and you know how it's Black Monday when the season's over in the NFL. I think we could be Black Monday for a lot of offensive coordinators.
It's been a lot of sloppy football too. A lot of turnovers, a lot of bad offensive line play,
a lot of questionable calls.
It's been a lot of sloppy football.
Bad coaching, not taking points. The Giants had the fourth down. They didn't go for the field goal.
Bears missed a lot of points at the end of the game.
Tried the brotherly shove.
The lead.
Yeah, I don't understand the coaching logic. And I'm sorry, if it's 4th and 1 and you're going to go for it and you're lining up in the shotgun, you're already doing a disservice. I don't care that this is the new offense. You're putting your guy 3, 4, 5 yards back.
Right. No, it makes no sense, JB. It doesn't make any sense, and you got to there's less. You can do some play action off of being under center. You're right on the line of scrimmage. You have so many more options, but starting back there, it's giving the defense an advantage. I think that we've all talked about the preseason issues and guys just not being ready to play, and it's translating to the game. You guys are right. It just looks sloppy. And looks like I've been watching preseason for a few weeks, and hopefully it straightens itself out. But I do believe, though, last year was almost the opposite. I think there was a lot of offense last year, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. I know it's maybe with all the younger quarterbacks and younger players, guys, they're just trying to figure themselves out.
I will say the one thing that you got to notice, JB, you were talking about, the 4th and 1s and the pushes. You know why the Eagles work all the time? Because they don't put their quarterback in the shotgun. Jalen Hurts stands right under Kelsey and just pushes.
Well, he also squats 600 pounds.
Listen, I didn't say
it's a good quarterback to put under center.
I'm not denying that.
And you have some Hall of Famers along that offensive line too.
Yeah, Kelsey doesn't get the recognition. Everyone wants to give Hurt the recognition. But Kelsey gets a lot of that recognition.
But here's the thing: if you're going in the shotgun, it's a terrible idea. You got to get under the center, basically. At that point, you're not literally going under the center, but that's what you're doing. You have to get down. And I watched it this past weekend, and I think the Steelers did it as well. If I remember correctly, I think they also did that on a 4th and 1. It's not going to work out of the shotgun. It's not. You're not gonna get a running start. Even Jalen Hurts wouldn't get a first down on those all the time. Why? Because that's not what you're supposed to do. It's a scrum. That's what it is. That's not a point.
It makes sense if it's like 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I get it because you have different plays you may want to call. 4th and 1, no, you get as close to the line as you can and you try and push it forward.
You just push
whatever play you're gonna run. Yeah. Just bad coaching.
Whatever. Hey, listen, that's what the season's been. I feel like bad offense, bad coaching. Just I don't know. It's just something is not right.
What's going on in baseball? Anything good in baseball?
Arizona's up 4-3. This should be the Cubs versus Milwaukee right now, but me and JB don't want to talk about that. The Phillies are up 1-0.
What an ugly collapse.
It's going to be very interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of road teams win. The wild card, I would not shock if we see some upsets like we have all season long. I think when you have a hot team, I mean, the Twins looked really good coming out hot today. Texas beating Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay, that's one of the ones I think Texas beats Tampa Bay in that wild card series. So that's one of the ones. And it wouldn't shock me if Arizona upsets Milwaukee.
Nobody shows up to the stadium for a playoff game for the Rays. You know what I mean?
I love it.
But baseball doesn't need fans, and we saw it during COVID.
No, but I mean, if you're
they have a team, they have a team that should be able to beat the Texas Rangers. Has no starting pitching right now.
But if you're a player and you come out on the field and the stadium's basically empty, You know what I mean? That's kind of like, damn.
But it's
like,
been
why
like that
aren't
for
people showing up
10,
for
15 years.
And there's nothing new in Tampa. They're going to get a new stadium, which is shocking.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that they were able to do that.
It's a smaller stadium, which they need. I mean, if you've been to Tampa Bay State baseball stadium, it is huge.
No
they need like a AAA baseball stadium.
It's funny. They've been able to put a winning team together with
a lot of people in Minnesota are very happy right now because for the first time
in how long?
Well, I was gonna say I think it was
2004.
18 straight playoff losses or some stupid like that, like playoff series. It was some ridiculous figure that they hadn't
18
won.
18 straight playoff games lost.
Yeah. Okay, I was right. So it was 18. Okay, thank you. So, I mean, I'm doubly happy because I am a very obviously known Yankee fan. I'm not going to hide it ever. I don't care. I'm a Yankee fan and I love my team no matter how much we suck. But the Blue Jays go down and that's always enjoyable. And it's kind of cool that the Twins finally actually won.
Well, Minnesota likes me right now because I posted odds for one of the Minnesota TV stations where Kirk Cousins play next year. So they were happy. I was
just gonna ask.
They were happy. They were very happy with me on that. So,
Ralph, you read my mind sometimes. What is the top place that he's gonna play? I have a guess, but
I still think it's going to be Minnesota unless they just totally flop and they have a shot to get the number 1 or number 2 spot because there's so much quarterback talent out there. If not, you're going to see the Patriots. If the Saints win this weekend, I think Jones is going to be I hope he rented and not bought in the Boston area. Right. That's going to be interesting. The Raiders with Jimmy G, I think they're probably going to be looking for a veteran quarterback. And if they win some games, they're probably not going to be up there to get one of those top QB talents in the draft. The Titans, I think if the Titans had 2 quarterbacks that they thought were better than Tannehill, they would have been playing already. So that just tells me that those other 2 quarterbacks that we all thought maybe that could take Ken Tannehill's job, they would have been playing already because he's been awful. And don't sleep on the Chicago Bears. I mean, that management and coaching staff, that is not their quarterback. They didn't draft Justin Fields, so they might
send him to New York. Send him to the Giants.
Maybe they'll still around. And look something different because I would not be shocked if let's say if Caleb Williams. I know Chicago's not on that list, but the Chicago's a football town. They have big names that play there in all sports. White Sox, Bulls, Cubs have had big names. I think that he might want to add the Bears on that list if that's one of them that he can get on there.
You know, I'm surprised because there's one team I would have assumed would have been the answer. It's the Jets. I mean, if they can win a couple games and just stay competitive, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets decide, well, Zach Wilson is not great and Kirk is on an expiring deal. So it's not like, we're signing this guy and getting him for the next 5 years on top of Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't put it past them to consider it at the very least. I'm surprised they weren't on your list.
But
they're not on my list just because of what he was. He's going to want more money. We saw he's probably the only quarterback that's ever rolled the dice on him and won multiple times. I just think a lot of teams might want to stay away from that. And if you're the Jets, you already know Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. So you have a 1 year, 2 year kind of, okay, let's see what's around the draft, maybe around the trades and stuff like that. So I don't think they would want to waste around with. And as a fact, Kirk Cousins, no young pup either.
No, of course not.
Why would any quarterback ever consider going to the Jets?
I don't know. Ask Aaron Rodgers. He did it.
Well, I understand. At some point, you just got to be a quarterback and just look down the list of number ones and Hall of Fames that have gone and just died there.
Yeah. Arizona and the Jets are the places you go to die, I feel like, career-wise.
Cleveland.
Nope, I'm done.
Cleveland, too.
Yeah, you can probably add Cleveland on there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See. And Dave Craig and Montana ended up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Montana had a pretty decent career in Kansas City.
They're also not known for that. That's not. You don't think Arizona and go, man. You don't think Kansas City and go, man. Guys go to there and end their career.
Yeah, I know.
Arizona, you go, yeah, that's where they're ending their career. They're done.
Kurt Warner had a pretty nice finish.
They took him to the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Listen, every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. So, Ralph, I mean, I know we have on Sunday NFL pregame show. Obviously, we'll go in more depth on best bets and the top picks of the week. But early in the week, we're approaching, we're that midweek, hump day kind of time. As of now, what's the best pick you think? What's got the best chance of actually hitting and making us the most money here?
For you homers that just think that NFL lives 365 days a year, there's 2 college football games on Wednesday this week. We have 2 on Thursday this week. So there's college football pretty much almost every day this week. And I'm going to stick with college. I'm going to stick with college football. And I'm going to go against Ole Miss, who are coming off a big win against LSU at home. I like the Razorbacks, and so keep the numbers 14 and plus 14.5. I think they keep it close. I think Ole Miss is still trying to get on the field to celebrate against LSU. Mm-hmm. I like the plus points on that one. I think, and let's face it, the SEC. I'm sorry, it's been down all season long. There's been not one dominant team in the greatest football conference that ever been invented. As we have to force feed hear that every time. I like Arkansas plus the points on this one. I think Ole Miss takes a small step backwards and still in a hangover effect.
All right. And so what are the odds on that plus? What was it, 14 and a half?
It's plus 14. It's plus 14 right now, but I can guarantee you this will go all the way down because I think people are going to realize that, hey, they're going to look at and say, oh, I forgot they just beat LSU at home. Now they have to play Arkansas.
It's plus 14, but if I, what's my my number here? What are my potential winnings here? I'm assuming
I'm taking the plus points, so it's 10% juice. So if you're going to put down 100, you have to put up 110 to win 100.
Yeah.
So
no, that's what I need to know.
I mean, I'm not saying take Arkansas on the money line because I don't think they're going to win straight up, but I think they keep this game close. Would not be shocked if the Ole Miss wins by like maybe 6 points or less.
All right. That's what I wanted to know. That's all right. So. Sounds like a good bet to me. JB, you gonna be betting that this week?
Who knows? That's the weekend. We're too far ahead. We got Champions League tomorrow. That's what I need to know.
Champions League tomorrow. Finally, we're gonna talk about real football. Jeez.
Yeah, what a horrible day of Champions League. What happened to Arsenal today, Raphael?
This Premier League always struggles in Champions League unless you're named Man City. Everyone else struggled. I mean, Liverpool a couple of years ago, they did okay. But yeah, anytime you have Premier League, I always look to fade them in Champions League.
Usually I agree with you, but I don't know. I thought Arsenal was having a pretty good year. I was kind of confident with them. Messed up a nice little parlay today.
Well, first of all, Dave, tell him about parlays. And second of all, Lens is a really good team. You got them at plus 450. You got them on a goal line plus 1.5 with plus money.
A lot of good dogs today in the Champions League, I noticed.
Ralph, you weren't listening at the beginning of the show because if you ask Dave about parlays right now, I think his opinion might be a little bit skewed. He might actually tell you they're a good idea because, Dave, I don't think he's willing to admit it still, and that's fine. But I'm still holding true that I genuinely think Dave was the guy in the bar that actually hit the parlay, and he's just pretending to not admit, to say, oh, it was me that actually won all this money.
Yeah. You don't know me well enough yet. So Emery was there, and I'll do it real quick because we did already share it, Rob. Is this cat, DK scores their first touchdown, and he cheers like it was the winning touchdown in overtime. No Seahawk gear on. And so I thought he was betting his fantasy, and he said, no, I have a parlay in Metcalf. I had to score first. Second half of the parlay is the Seahawks to win. And so he was happy as could be, and then he decided, I told you, actually, I think I told you about it on the phone. I told him about your idea about taking the money at half. He goes, oh, no. He goes, I'm an idiot. I play parlays. So he goes, I'm in for the duration, and then he took another $50 and bet that the first score of the second half would be a defensive score and won another $400 on top of that. So he was up $3,000 on $150.
Raphael, he's the reason you get paid.
I can guarantee you if I met this guy and say, give me all your plays every day, your parlays and all that, and at the end of on December 31st at 11:59, let me see if he's in a plus or minus.
He's upside down. Yeah. But he won that one, and he won
that day. Yep.
He had one great day, that's for sure.
Looks like Dave's been parlaying a lot. He didn't pay his electricity, looks like.
Oh, I'm in Washington, D.C.
I know. I was just busting chops.
I want to be like JB on the cover.
You want to pretend like you're not there. Just nobody can see me. You can only hear me.
Put it on the screen, would you?
Just thanks. I'll put that on the screen along with our email. That's a good idea.
So Raphael, so you did bring up college football, and for the first week, I think Colorado hasn't been the talk of every show.
Finally,
but
you brought them up anyway. Thanks.
I thought. I mean, they were getting drummed by SC, and for them to come back and make a game of it was interesting. I mean, how do you see them moving forward?
Like Dion said, better get me now, because he's going to get the players there. If he stays, he's going to get the players there. And you could tell the way they fought and came back against SC that they like playing for this guy. So I 110% agree with Di. If you're going to get me now, because this is not going to be the same team I'm going to have next year, the year after, the year after. So
the players bought in.
Yeah,
let's. No one's talking about the Pac-12. I mean, the Pac-12 could easily have the number one team in it. I think Washington State could be a number one team. They got probably the Heisman favorite right now in Pricks, but I mean, we're all too busy talking about Georgia and the SEC and stuff like that. The Pac-12 won't be around next year, and they got a full rack of great teams going right now.
Yeah, you got even Oregon State like showing up and playing. They beat number 10 Utah. I thought that was impressive.
Utah needs that quarterback back because their quarterback play is awful.
Yeah,
they're bad.
So
we're here live. So we're here live on WDJY 99.1 FM. We got about 10 more minutes.
We're live. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're live.
I didn't know we were
7
live.
a.m. Wednesday morning. It's 7
a.m.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's
7:46.
Hold on. That's like saying what I said before, which is the offense plays the defense. So thank you for pointing out the obvious, John. I appreciate that.
Anyway,
it's 7:46 actually in the morning.
Yeah, but anyway, go on. Ruin my radio shit.
No, go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Go transition in mind. John was transitioning.
No, I just want to make sure. Yeah, we sound.
He just wants to make sure people know what they're listening to. That's good.
Thanks, where
Sean.
we're listening to. Sideline Sports, WDJY 99.1 FM.
John does the right thing, and we all just kill him for it. Like, John did the absolute correct thing, and there's no questioning it. Yeah, we all just dogged him.
And you just try and drop the Giants offense right on.
Well,
it was just two of you guys. JB and Jake were the only ones that dogged him. Me and Dave.
If he didn't say live,
thank you, Raphael.
Me and Dave just sat there. Jake and JB just trashed him now. So
you know what,
JB, John's,
listen to me.
Professionalism.
Put it on the screen.
Listen, if it wasn't for the live thing,
put it on the screen because everybody's got to see it. And for those that aren't watching, John has just a disgruntled look on his face.
But viewers don't look at the screen.
Right now, folks are driving to work, listening.
They're laughing. They're laughing their asses off.
John is 110% agree. You don't put stuff on the screen. People don't read the screen. They rather hear it from someone on voice than looking it on the screen.
I agree, but John, people on the way to work, they want a good laugh. Lighten up a little bit, will you? Put on a smile. Maybe take your shirt off. I've seen you do that before, and I didn't really like it. But maybe that'll make you smile. So whatever it takes, bring the energy, my man. I know you're sick. I can hear it.
There's five of us. There's 5 of us here. We all have to share the screen. I mean, there's a lot.
Well, moving on, because I'm going to write this down as a day in history. John said, write this down. John said now, live on air, we all have to share the screen. I didn't know John knew how to share the screen.
So how big was Notre Dame's comeback?
Right now, I'm confused.
Raphael, how big was Notre Dame's comeback over Duke in that final couple of minutes last week? And what does that do for Notre Dame's playoff chances, and how does that hurt the ACC?
It hurts the ACC, their playoff chances. I think we're only going to have maybe 1 or 2 undefeateds if we do. So one team, I think the LSU lost, now have their 2 losses. I think those teams are completely out. Notre Dame's not completely out because they're not like teams who have to play Georgia State and Southern and stuff like that. Their schedule is going to mean something if they only have 1 loss. That win against Duke was almost the opposite with the Ohio State, where everyone thought, they're only going to lose by 2. We're going to cover. And then they actually kicked the extra point, and then it was a push. It was totally opposite this one. They had come back, win it, cover the game. And the books took a little bit of a bath on that one. So it was a little bit of a night and day for Notre Dame fans. They were kind of still upset that they pushed against Ohio State, but then got a lucky cover and win against the Blue Devils on the road, which a tough place to play lately is Duke on the road.
Yeah. Weird to think Duke is a football school, but they're doing a lot of great things there with their football program.
Look at Kansas. Kansas is up and coming in their football program. So you're starting to see, I think the organization is starting to see how much money football is actually bringing in. So you're going to see Kansas and the Dukes and North Carolina, some typical basketball schools wise up and start bringing in some more money, because they were looking for other conferences to upgrade. And if you're going to look upgrade, that's why Gonzaga is looking to bring back football in their organization.
Yeah. Well, Raphael, I'm going to give you a layup here. Hold on. I'm going to give you a real layup. All right. There's only one acceptable answer considering the radio station we're on, the people that are listening, and what they want to hear as we're coming near the end of the show. Raph, who is the odds-on favorite to win the World Series? There's only one answer that I should be hearing out of your mouth right now.
Yeah, it's only one, but they're very vulnerable.
I didn't ask you to say that.
The Atlanta Braves are the favorites.
I didn't say to poke holes in them. I just said, give me the odds-on favorite, please.
But they're still missing 2 of their starters, and one of them's probably not going to come back to the NLCS. So they're very, very vulnerable.
And the team you don't want to play right now, if you're the Braves, is the Phillies. I don't think that they match up well with the Phillies. I don't think that would be a good series for the Braves, like matchup wise. They can beat them, obviously, but I think the Phillies are the team, if you're the Braves, that you don't want to see out of all the teams, even the Dodgers. I think the Phillies match up the best in the NL with the Braves and have the best shot at knocking them out.
Listen,
that's my opinion.
I agree.
For those that are listening, I'm sorry. I tried to just give your morning a nice little boost as you get to work. You think about the Braves and the fact that you could win.
This after you said the Falcons were going to lose 28-3 in the Super Bowl. So you're out of order. You're out of order.
Throw them out.
Hold on. My plan was you make them really upset at the beginning, and you lift their spirits as they're getting to work.
After they change the station.
I mean, listen, JB, and now you're putting the out of order on the screen. They can't see it, so put it on the screen. It doesn't do anything. All right?
We're on the radio, Jake. There is no screen.
I know that, but we're also live. I made a point of saying that.
I do a lot of interviews. I do a lot of interviews in the state of Louisiana, and they always make fun of the Falcons for blowing that lead. And I always tell you this: when was the last time the Saints, at least the Falcons were in the Super Bowl to blow a lead?
Thank you.
When was the last time the Saints were in the Super Bowl? They won one, and I still think it was a miracle.
Raphael, we have an assignment for you. At least I do. I don't care about everyone else. So Anne Marie says that we're going to get tacos in Vegas. What type of tacos are we going to get? We need odds on them.
What kind? I mean, do you want Vegas-style tacos, or do you want to go like to maybe a good taqueria place that's like Mexico and stuff like that?
Anne Marie's going to make them.
Anne Marie's making them.
Oh,
so Anne Marie's made she's made all sorts of good tacos during our shows.
Yeah,
that we've got to see Dave.
You guys could probably go back to each of the shows and
Dave has eaten some phenomenal.
How many times has he had shrimp? How many times has he had steak? How many times has he had carnitas? How many times has he had potato, egg tacos?
Potato tacos.
I'm looking at the list. So,
I think potato. I think he's done potato the most.
No.
Shrimp.
No.
It's got to be shrimp, probably.
Yeah, shrimp.
Come on.
Shrimp.
I know that.
I know.
We've done turkey burger a couple of times. Let me some turkey burger. It's healthy.
On Uber Eats and DoorDash this afternoon, everyone's ordering tacos after this show. Everyone that watched us this week. So if you know that taco restaurant, what's the email, Jake?
It's sidelinesportsnet@gmail.com, or just go on our social medias, all the platforms you can think of. Look us up, Sideline Sports. And for those that are listening, we're going to put it on the screen for you, because I'm never going to let this joke die now, because JB really just tried to sneak it through, thought nobody would notice it, and I heard him say, put it on the screen, because that's going to help those radio listeners. You're a real genius. You know that? You're really. Anyway, but Raphael, off air, I will have to talk to you about. I will need to know about a good taco place in Vegas, because I'm going to be there next week.
Again,
I'm gonna have a night or two.
Don't get shrimp tacos in Vegas. I always tell people,
we'll talk.
We'll
talk later.
Be good,
behind the scenes talk.
But there's no oceans near Vegas, so I always tell people,
listen. I know that. I know the rules. Trust me.
All right.
I had enough of you guys. For those of you in Atlanta, make sure you listen every week, Wednesday, 7 to 8 a.m. For those of you on DBTV, we love you. Keep watching every week and subscribe. For those of you on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
whatever else
you guys are awesome. Make sure you're watching Hawk Talk next, right after us. If you're on DBTV or Atlanta, come to the social so you can watch Hawk Talk and all the other shows we have. Jake,
and of
go
course,
around the horn and tell everyone this.
Hold on. Don't forget, we got a Sunday show, boys. We got a pregame show. We can just ignore the fact that not only if they like us on here, can they go follow our socials and all that great stuff, but they can come back Sunday at 12 to 1 and listen to us all over again, talking about some NFL only.
And
so those of you that don't like the baseball talk and all that, I'll give some love to the Falcons then as well. I promise, John. So, JB, we'll start with you now. We can go around the horn.
I'll put it up on the screen for him. JB_ the program on Twitter. Make sure you're watching everything we got going on, guys.
Raf.
On X, at VSI.sports, Instagram, Rafael Esparza, and you can find all my crazy odds at youcanbetthat.com.
Good. And John.
WDJY 99.1 FM. Make sure you check us out. And if you're looking to advertise on our show, make sure you reach out to that sidelinesportsnet@gmail.com. Follow me, BlueHawks13 on Twitter, and NFL Alumni Media.
I'm Jake Malik. You guys can find me on Twitter or X or whatever garbage you want to call it, at Jake_Malik. You can find me on all the socials like that. And now to the most important person at the end. Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave, and I'm on the old guys channels. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and please follow Hawk Talk 12 on Facebook. Our followers and our viewers are just growing crazy. I love the 12 every single week. Walter Thurman, Trey Madden, and myself host the show. We bring on a former Seahawk, and we bring on the 12 to chop it up with us and talk Seahawk football.
That's the best place. If you love Seahawk football, that's the place to go. I know we're in Atlanta, but hey, there might be some Seahawks fans out there. But on that note,
fans everywhere.
That's right. On that note, everybody, have a good day. I hope you have a lovely day at work. Get some tacos. And Dave, tell the people what they're supposed to do.
Be good people.
That's right. And we'll see you guys soon.